If you see narcissists everywhere, you might be the narcissist. Like, if everyone in your life is narcissistic, then you might also take on those traits of narcissism to protect yourself. Narcissism is a protection response in a world where they felt like they weren't getting their needs met. They've learned to just suck the life out of other people in some way, shape, or form and meet their own needs because they are so worried that no one else is going to meet their needs unless they do it for themselves at all times. There was a time in my life where I was watching a bunch of narcissistic abuse content because I felt like everyone in my life was a narcissist in some way, shape, or form. And in turn, that kind of turned me into the jerk and turned me into someone that only cared about myself because no one else was going to help me out, you know? And it wasn't until I flipped the switch and started being more giving and started seeing people for the traumas that they've lived through, especially when it comes to like my family, you know, like let's see like what happened in my parents' life to, you know, make them act the way they had been acting, you know, and that like I lived a pretty good life, you know, but there was still some things that I felt like I wasn't getting my needs met, you know? Everyone comes up with trauma. Like everyone grows up with some sort of trauma in their life. So it might be time to really consider whether or not you are including that person's entirety into how they're treating you. Is this how they were taught to be treated, or is this how they were taught to treat other people? And how can you be the change you want to see in the world? That is like the key thing to getting rid of narcissists in your life is first off, if you are dealing with someone that's like physically abusive, like there's domestic abuse going on, like leaving that situation is the best thing to do. But if you are just talking about someone that's, I don't know, like in hindsight, a lot of the people that I was calling narcissists were just trying to take care of themselves. Yeah, maybe they yelled. Yeah, maybe they were mean. But they weren't like, I could have just walked away if I wanted to, or I could have just seen them a lot less than I did, you know, instead of trying to change them. You know, trying to change people is narcissistic, in my opinion. So just my thoughts. Yeah, if you're narcissistic, or if you see narcissists everywhere, you might be the narcissist. Thank you.